So this episode is all for my girlies who are 35 plus, single, childless, doing the unexpected based on your age and where you're at. And my question is, do you find yourself feeling that pressure to have to be married by now or have kids by now? Or maybe you don't feel pressured, but people are often pressuring you to be there in that place. Well, today's episode is all about unapologetically being single, unapologetically about not wanting to have kids, just being unapologetic about the life that you want to live and do what you want to do the way you want to do it without the fear of worrying about being judged. So let's kick in and have this conversation because let me tell you, this is going to free a lot of people. So let's go.
It's Natasha.
Unapologetic Living.
What is up? Welcome to Unapologetic Living with Natasha. And you already know what time it is. You already know what's about to go down. An amazing conversation that's going to be dropping gems on top of gems on top of gems. I was at an event recently, and I'm not going to steal her quote, but a woman said, I think she even has a book. I'll get her name another time. But it was gems for your pen. When I heard that, I was like, girl. Ooh. I was like, that's a good one. Yes. Gems for the pen. Gems for the pen. Yes. So again, it's not my quote. This is hers. But you got some gems for your pen. Yes. Mind-blowing conversations that's going to leave you walking away unapologetically, not questioning how you should be living your life. And I got my girl, Toya, here. Hey, girl, hey. And I had to have you on here about this conversation about being single and just like being happy, like recognize you can be happy and single, happy and not following whatever society says.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you single on the streets is your joint.
Yes,
so
yes, it is. Yes, it is. We coming soon again. Yes.
Yes. So how do people watch Single on the Streets?
So you can watch Single in the Streets on YouTube, B3 Media TV on YouTube, and that is where Single in the Streets is. Yes. So you can catch up on the first season. And we're about to start recording in 2 weeks for our second season.
Nice.
Yes, we're excited.
Awesome. So I was like, I'm going to talk about singlehood. I got to bring the pro on here talking about singlehood. Yeah. So one of the things we were talking about before we started to record is the milestones that us as women we get caught up in of just like gotta be married by a certain age, gotta have kids by a certain age, right, gotta have the picket white fence, got all these things that we create. And so for what are your thoughts? How do you think these milestones create this like unwanted, not even unwanted, well, not unwanted because we don't even want the pressure, but like the perfectionism and the pleasing and you know, this high achieving, all of that. How does that connect with all that?
Man, I think when we have these milestones that we set up for ourselves, right? Like a lot of things we want to make sure we want to check the boxes. And I think it comes from societal pressure, family pressure, friends around you. And if we're not careful, we're focused so much on the milestone that we'll end up settling, right? We'll end up settling and getting ourselves into relationships that we shouldn't be in because we haven't really taken account of who we need to be to get the things that we want so we can check off the box. And so I think we put more pressure on ourselves though.
That part.
Ultimately, even though I think it's influenced by people around us and what we see on social media, but we ultimately end up putting the pressure on ourselves. And then you get into something and then down the line you find out, but it's like, who you gonna be mad at? Like,
That part.
Like, sis, you did this.
Yeah. There's been many times where I've been, as a therapist, I would have doing couples therapy, and I would listen to like the struggles within a relationship, and I'm thinking, y'all shouldn't be together, and mainly because it's more of checking off the mark. Like I had the one young couple, they were like in their 20s, and the female, she was so eager to get married because of the milestone, and he wasn't really ready. But that for her, that made her feel like he didn't want to be with her. And so she was like pushing and pushing because she wanted to be married by a certain age. She wanted to have kids by a certain age. And so I had to like pause her and say, these milestones is causing you to like move faster and you guys are not even ready. Like she was trying to push to go to a stage that they didn't even have the foundation to get there. And so that goes back to what you were saying about the settling aspect.
Yes. And we're not created to settle. We should not. We should not settle. You want to be in something, especially when it comes to singleness and relationships. Yeah. You want to be in something that's healthy. You want to be in something that's right, because you're going to stumble across so many things if you push it and get into something prematurely. And I think that's with anything. But relationships, because relationships are so valuable, and relationships, we need relationships. I think we have to be even more, prudent in how we handle getting into relationships. Yeah. One thing I often teach people is behavior influences behavior. So if you're coming in hurt, full of baggage, that's going to influence how your partner shows up. And then how your partner shows up is going to influence how you show up. And then it's just a lot of toxicity, unhealthy patterns or habits that are happening. And then that becomes a dynamic. So that's what ends up being the foundation of the relationship. Right. Yeah. And it's not sustainable. It's not, you can stay in it. Right. A lot of times when you hear people say, I've been married this many years. Okay. But I need to see, okay, have you been happily married for those many years? Because longevity does not a successful marriage make. Right. Yeah. It's like, what have you done in the marriage? Like, is it successfully? Are you happy in the marriage? Are you two happy and successful individuals within your marriage? Right. Yeah. We had a singles conference last weekend, and I think it was RC Blake's, and he was talking about being individuals, like the individuals, like you need to be successfully single. You need to be a successful, a healthy individual before you get into a relationship. So we got to stop focusing on checking off the boxes, and by this time, by this age, because it'll be so much more worth it when you're ready at 45 than trying to check off a box and say, I got to get married by 35. Right. Yeah. And even what you were saying about needing to be a healthy single individual before you go into a relationship. That's so important, because if not, you are going to be depending on someone else to curate and develop that happiness within you, right? And so that's why single people don't allow themselves to embrace and enjoy the dynamic and the level of growth that singlehood brings, and where you can find, because when you find that like happiness when you're just by yourself, then just a person is just icing on the cake. It's not something you need. It's just icing on the cake. Yes, they are the bonus. Right. They are the bonus. They bring value. They add something to what you already have going on. Like, I know for me in this single season that I've been in, just discovering who I am, loving myself more, having the choices to get up and go and to do new things. It's like, I think to myself, even just having the peace of liking myself and being able to sit with myself, by myself, and I'm like, I am good. Like, I am so cool. And so then to think about, a person coming in and being able to add to that. Because if you can't add to that, then no. What's the point? Right. Like, no, we're not doing this. Right. We're not doing this. Yeah. One of the things we talked about was expectations. And sometimes as when we can stay single because of our expectations, or we can, just be with somebody because of checking off the things on our list. And you're like, it's like in those conversations you have with your friends, we're like, he's really nice. Right. He has a great job. And, he's doing all these things. But I ain't really feeling it, right? It's like he's checking off. He looks good on paper. And it's like, I don't want to leave this because he looks good on paper. People, anybody else would love to have this person, but I ain't really feeling him. But he's checking off all my boxes. But he's checking off all the boxes. And it's like, if you're not feeling him, then you're not feeling him. And he is not the only person in the world that's going to check off the boxes. Like, I feel like there's going to be somebody that checks the boxes and you actually like this person. Like, why would you get into something and you don't even like the person? Right. But just to check off some boxes for who? Right. Well, that's the thing. For the facade. For the perception, because on paper, everything is looking good. Whether it's like to please the mom, because he's checking off my mom's boxes. Not even my boxes, my mom's boxes, right?
Or if it's society status.
Yeah.
Checking off all the boxes. I got a man that got this job. He takes me places. The status, right? It's a lot of it's for perception. If you're only in it for that reason.
Yeah, if you're only in it for that reason, I would agree. And it's like everybody else's boxes, but it's you.
Yeah.
You gotta go home to this person. You gotta be in relationship with this person, not them. So yeah, again, it goes back to just settling and being in something. Like, why be in something and you're unhappy and you don't like the person just because they checked off all the, and a lot of the boxes are very superficial.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't, they're very superficial because it's like, okay, he's got a good job. He could lose that job tomorrow.
That part. Yeah.
You know, he's making all this money. A deal might not go through.
Right. And the money's gone.
And the money is gone. And now you're looking at this. Now you're with this person that you don't like. So now what do? We've wasted time.
Right.
You've wasted time with this person. And a lot of times it's like you're not even being honest.
Yeah.
You know, you're not even being, you know, you're not even being honest with yourself or the other person. And so it's like we're going in these circles and we stand in relationships that we don't want to be in just because it looks good.
Yeah.
No, we can't do that in 2025.
No, not in 2025.
No.
And you know, as you were talking, the other thing that was coming up was that when we're single and we're dating, sometimes we will have the boxes of these standards and we're not even meeting the standards.
Right, hot button. Hot button.
Did I hit the hot button?
Hot button.
And I think that's what would also block the happiness, because you're expecting someone to show up in this way.
Yes.
And that's also, but you're struggling in that. And then you're mad at this person is showing up in that way, or you're depending on this person to show up in that way, so then it can help you show up in that way. Whatever is going on.
Right.
And it's just it's not working.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just does not work. I've heard Pastor Darius Daniel say this, and then not too long after that, then I'm like, that makes so much sense. And then even Bishop R.C. Blake said it, like, are you the person
that you're looking for?
That the person you're looking for is looking for? Like, the person you're looking for, do you even know what they want?
Right.
And are you that? Like, literally, it is that simple. Yeah. You know, I'm like, you want him to have 6 figures, since you ain't even got a budget. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got to have a 6-pack. When is the last time we've seen the gym?
Right.
You know, or ate a vegetable. I mean, okay. But I'm
so
serious.
True. No,
I'm serious.
it's true.
So it's like you want them to have all of this, and you're not even that. I think a lot of people sometimes think that you're going to get what you deserve, or I'm going to attract what I deserve. And it's really, no, you get who you are. Yeah. You get what you work to become. You attract whoever you're becoming. That's who you're going. That's what you're going to attract. Yeah. It's like, you know, we can't have this because I'm me.
They just going to show and put it right in my lap.
And you know, yes, feel good about yourself, love yourself, have the confidence. However, all these things, have your list. But then look at your list and ask yourself, am I any of these things? Not perfection.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, am I meeting these same standards that I want my partner to have?
Or even at the level that I want my partner to have.
At the level that I want them to have it. And it's like, this person that you've laid out in all these boxes, ask yourself the honest question. Look at yourself and say, would they want me?
Right.
Where I am currently right now. Like, again, you got to ask yourself the hard questions.
Those hard questions.
I'm so about being honest with yourself about who you are and where you are. Take assessment of that. And if it's like, okay, like, I tell myself in some areas, like, sis, you got some work to do. Yeah. You got some work to do. And it's not to get a man, but it really is for you first.
Let's just pause right there. Because I think that's when it comes to like singlehood and happiness. Yeah, it's like that key is you are doing the work. You're changing, whether it's if you're working out or if you know, improving your spiritual health or your emotion, whatever that is. You're doing it for you, not to get a man.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because I think if we do it, if we say we're doing it to get a man, right, then at some point, when the man ain't coming,
right?
Still,
then
you may stop doing it because you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Right.
It has to be that you're because when you think about these things, like you think about working out, you think about being a good steward over your money and your finances and budgeting. If you think about, all these different things that you're doing, they add value to your life. So why not just do them to become the best version of you that you can be? Because it's not about getting a man, because you're not just showing up in romantic relationships. You are showing up at work. You are showing up on your job, at work, on your job. You're showing up in ministry. You're showing up in friendships. You're showing up in family. You're showing up in whatever areas that you're in. So it's not just about romantic relationships. So you got to show up in other places. So why not be the best version of yourself in all the different places that you have to show up?
And it's thinking about too, like if you are willing to do all that work for somebody else, why can't you do it for yourself?
That's so good. Like, why can't you do
right?
it for
Like
yourself?
at the end of the day, loving yourself is the most important person to be loving first, is the most important a way to practice unconditional love, right?
Yes.
And so if you can go above and beyond to prove yourself to other people or to be enough for somebody else, why can't you do that for yourself? Why can't you start with just yourself first?
Right, exactly. Because I always say, I'm like, wherever you go, there you are.
Listen, she right there. She ain't leave the shadow following you.
Right.
You see her in the shadow. You see her in the mirror. You see her when you look at her feet.
Right.
Like, I mean, when you look at the hands, it's your hands.
Girl,
like,
it's hey, I'm here still. So like, why not? Like, wherever you go, there you are. So why not, like you said, do that for you? And know that you are enough to do that. Like, you're worth doing that for. So that's what I would say on that right there.
Well, I think that's a good place to park for a break. We're going to take a quick break. Make sure you come back because we're going to be talking about next just how to be unapologetic as a single woman, or even a woman who's just doing the taboo way of living, of not having kids or whatever that is, right? How to just be able to live as your unapologetic self and honor your own story. So make sure you come back because there's going to be some more on Unapologetic Living with Natasha. Are you ready to stop playing small and finally protect your peace and execute consistently? Welcome to Unapologetic Living University, an online coaching hub helping women gain the tools to set boundaries without guilt and execute goals with unshakable confidence. No more people pleasing, no more perfection paralysis, no more waiting for permission. Scan the QR code now and enroll. Welcome back to Unapologetic Living with Natasha. I'm with my girl LaToya, and we're talking about singlehood and being happy as a single woman. And we left the second segment just talking about the pitfalls that can cause us to not become happy, even when we're a single woman, right? Now let's kind of shift and talk about like how to be able to be unapologetic. And I think one of the things we were talking about was like how there's this question, like if you are not married yet, especially by a certain age, by 35 plus, people start giving you the side eye,
looking
like,
at you, right?
What's wrong with you? Why aren't you married, right? Or if you don't have children, like, why don't you have kids, right? And I'm sure even when you experience like dating, some people are like, oh, what happened? You're not married? Why are you single? And I think a lot of times it really connects to this womanhood, like, if a woman does not have a man, a husband, or if she's not a wife, or if she's not a mother, then like she's not doing something right within her womanhood, right? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's sad. I think it's sad that women get judged that way or put in that box when we are so multifaceted. I mean, women, we are amazing,
Who
right?
run the world?
Okay, girls run the world, and I think to just limit us to being a wife and a mother, it shortchanges us. And then for women to take that on themselves, you never get to really experience the full capacity of how you were created. And so, I've been married and now I'm divorced.
even that, being a divorced woman.
Being a divorced woman, you know, like it's all the questions. So
right.
Like, people get like, well, what happened? Well, what did you do? Or
right.
why didn't it work? You know, and I am also a mother. However, even post-divorce, learning how to find me again because I did lose myself in my marriage because it was about being a wife. It was about being a mother. And so now trying to find myself again as a single woman, someone who found herself suddenly single, quite honestly. And so almost trying to detach from that role.
Yeah.
And even in being a mom, making sure that my identity is not so tied to being a mom, but it really is like finding out who I am as LaToya, as this woman, looking at all the different things that I like to enjoy, the different things and places God is calling me to say like, okay, this has nothing to do with me being a wife or a mother. This is solely about who he created me to be as LaToya, as this woman. And so, I don't like, even though, again, I've been married, I have kids, but it's still this notion that carries in society that is what a woman is. And I don't think, you know, to say like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's so like, why does something have to be
or
wrong?
It's passive. They might not say it directly, but they start, you see it in their eyes, the question like,
right, and start asking a bunch of questions. And it's like no, like I said again, like women are so multifaceted, and I mean it's evident, it's all around us, and so I don't think that our identities should be placed so much solely just in being a wife or a mother.
And I think the difference too is these are roles that we end up taking on. They're not our identity.
Exactly.
Right? Like if you know, some people do have their jobs be their identity. But it's like, you know, like wherever you do for work, you're not gonna say, hi, my name is Tasha and I'm X right? With the role that I play, right? You know, and we all want to be defined outside of just these single things because we are multifaceted. But that can happen. I know for me, I don't have any kids. I'm 42 now and never wanted kids. Like that was just something that I've never wanted. People always say, even now, if I say it, I have kids, are like, oh, well, y'all want some later. Y'all want some soon. I said, no, I do not. I don't want it.
I'm pretty clear.
I'm
clear
I'm
about
sure
that,
I don't want any children. And they're like, oh, well, why not? That's what's your job. You're supposed to procreate. Like this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to bring babies in the world, right? And I'm like, well, that's not my job. You know, I don't. That's not what I want. So that's the type of like questions I get, where it's just like, well, maybe it's just maybe in a few years you might want. No, I'm very clear. I was very clear with God. If he doesn't put the desire in my heart to have kids, like I always say, if he put the desire in my heart to have kids, like it was never a never, but I was like, if God put a desire in my heart to want children, I would totally embrace it.
Right.
And if he doesn't, and he has yet to put a desire. So he already knows what time it is. This is not for me. And you know, the older you get, the less you even want the desire. Listen, so I'm like, at this point, God didn't put it in my heart. It ain't happening. It's not happening. And I'm okay with that, right? But it goes back to like just knowing who you are, and not allowing these like roles that people want to put on you, or roles that you actually are engaged in as defining who you are.
No, I agree with that 100%. Like I love that you said it's okay, because it is okay. Like I am finding that on my singleness, in this singleness space, that is one of my things. I'm like X, Y, and Z. And it's okay.
Listen.
And it's okay. So I love
you know what? That falls into the category of like, you know, when people are talking about boundaries, like no is a complete sentence. I always say like, you know, people are like, well, how do you know, what are some just suggestions you give to like overcome like perfectionism or people pleasing or fear, you know, and I said the mantra, it's okay. It's okay. Because the anxiety will say it's not okay. We have to have it this way, or it gotta go this way, or I have to have children by this age, or I have to be married by this age, or the world's gonna come to an end, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's okay. You will be fine. It's okay.
It is okay. Everybody and everybody else will be okay.
And everybody else will be okay. Yes.
That's one of the things I'm telling people now. Like they'll be fine. They will trust me.
Yes.
They will be okay. They will be okay. I promise you. And if they're not, they'll figure it out. They will figure it out.
I think there's too, when it comes to like having children, it feels like, well, my parents really want to be grandparents, right? And so it's like, so I feel like they keep asking when we're gonna have the baby, and they really want, and it's like, well, your grandparents, they're not gonna take care of this baby.
No.
So you gotta do this for you. Like, do you want the babies? Because you're gonna be one taking. The grandparents are gonna help you here and there, but at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, "That's not my child."
Right? You going home with these kids?
Right.
They sending them back.
Sending them back quick.
They are packing them up, shipping them off.
Right.
So yeah, you can't live your life for other people and what other people want. You really do have to stay true to yourself and what you want, what your desire is. Be clear about it, and like you said, they will be okay. And I think that when we do that, we honor ourselves. Yeah. And it is such an amazing feeling when you can honor yourself. Yeah. Because then you have peace, you are clear, and then you enjoy the life in the space that you're creating. But you have to be able to honor yourself. Your life can't be based upon, I had to learn my life can't be based upon what other people want, what other people expect of me, what other people think that I should do. Like, it has to be like, no, what do you want? Yeah. What do you desire? What was the conversation between you and God? And in that conversation, that is enough.
That's enough. Yeah.
That is enough. Yeah. And some may like it, some may not. That is okay. If the Lord is like, gave me the green light and he's like, go, or if he says, no, that's not what we're doing. Yeah. Just because somebody else wants it. No, that's not what we're doing. Right. People will be okay. Yeah.
I think that's so important, honoring your story. I met a woman, we were both speaking at a conference, and we were just talking about just life. Yeah. And she was asking if I had kids. And to prevent the question of like, well, maybe you'll have some later, I've been saying recently, like, I don't have any kids by choice. Like, I put that in the narrative. Okay. So they know, like, this is a choice. Like, it's not because whatever reason you might be thinking in your head. Yeah. And so she was saying that, she was saying she's in a better place now with it, and she's still healing. Okay. But when she would hear women say that, she would feel a form of jealousy. Oh, so she has like 5 kids. Okay. And it sounded like a beautiful home, right? And she was like, most people are looking at me like I'm crazy when sometimes I'm like, I don't want, what did I do? How did I make this choice? Because from the outside in, her family is beautiful. She has a loving husband. Her and her husband have a great relationship. So people are just like, oh, you have the perfect family, all the things. Meanwhile, she and her husband have a midlife crisis, thinking about like, how did we get there? Why did we choose 5 kids? Right. Why did we choose this life, right? And so something that she said that stood out to me was, as she was doing her own healing, she was thinking, I did not give myself the consent to have this many children. Wow. Because what happened was, and we were talking about this a little bit, she's a believer as well. Okay. And so she got pregnant. I think she got pregnant before they got married. They got married. Okay. And then again, within the religious aspect of it, you get married and you just multiply. Right. That's what the Bible says. You multiply and multiply. Yes. So then she just felt like, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to multiply. I'm supposed to have kids. Okay. And looking back, she's like, she loves her kids and everything, but she's like, if I could have did differently, she would have not went that path. Okay. And she said, and from now on, she just wants to be able to do things where she's given herself the consent to do it, and not doing it because of what society says or what people are saying or what. Yes. I love that. Like doing what she believes is right for her.
I love that. I love that. Giving yourself consent. I like to say, give yourself permission.
Yeah,
give yourself permission to be like, no, yes. To have that autonomy, to have that agency over your life. I think that is so important. Wow. Like those, it's real. Like these pressures and these labels and what society, and even like us as believers in church culture tell you that you have to do what you have to be and how you, and it's like, no. No, you hear the exhausted no.
Right. Listen.
No, not necessarily, but again, it can't be people. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really have to seek God on what it is.
Yes.
He has for your
you life. Individually, right? Because even what the Bible says, God will have you hear it differently than how somebody else hears it, because he's going to have you hear it the way you need to hear it for you, for the path that he has for you.
Yes.
Right? And so a lot of times we are taking somebody else's translation of what the Bible says, or what God has said to them on how to, because it's like when you can read the same book multiple times, and every time it's different, but it's different that meets where you're at in that moment. That's how Holy Spirit works, right?
Yes.
And so a lot of times people are putting on you how, whatever came up for them and whatever they read in the Bible.
Right.
And that's why you have to be so clear and know what God's voice sounds like for you. Because what somebody else is saying to you about what the Bible says may not be what God is saying for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I just said something like that this morning about like when you go back and you read the word or you read, the notes that you took go to the scriptures. Like, what is it saying to you specifically?
Right.
Because when you go back, someone else can go back and look at the exact same thing.
Have a different interpretation.
God is going to speak to them differently because it's going to be something specific for them.
Yeah.
So you really he says he knows the plans that he has for you.
Right. Exactly.
Make it I'm all about making the word personal. Make it personal for you. Like he knows he has specific plans for you. And so it's for you. Nobody else. I mean, I also have a safe circle. Have a safe, I call them my squad. Have safety around you, right? That can, give you advice, because we need blind spots. Have that, but ultimately it has to be in alignment with what it is that God said,
right?
And sometimes they're going to understand, sometimes they're not. But it's like, if they know you and they trust you in your relationship with the Lord, then it's like, okay, like, girl, I don't understand, but I support you. I see what you're doing.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm here for you. But it just has to be, again, with you and God, it's got to be about what are we doing? Like, what are we doing, Lord? Yeah.
And I like what you were saying about having that community, because if you have the wrong people around you, especially when you're single, because some of the friends... If you have other single friends, sometimes they just be doing a lot and be sending you down a rabbit hole.
Yes.
Or you have the friends who are in a relationship and they trying to marry you off and trying to brush you. Right? Like, you definitely got to have that right circle that's going to lead you in the right direction.
Yes. Oh, 100%. 100%. Or even, making sure that you have, like, if you, even being single and you have a desire to be married, be careful of the single people that's around you. Because if you're around a bunch of single chicks talking trash about men and talking negatively, or they don't even desire marriage, don't want to be married, want to be out in these streets. And if you want to be out running these streets, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, be careful with that though. But that's not going to help you.
Right.
And you have this desire to be married and be in a healthy relationship, to be in a good relationship. That's not going to help you either.
Right.
So you got to take a look around, like,
check your circle.
For real.
Not even to check your friends, check your circle.
Check your circle.
Check your circle.
Because I think as we grow and we learn ourselves, as we heal, as we evolve, your circle should get a little tighter. Should get a little tighter, because going through life, we got all kinds of friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think just
there's levels to friendships.
Right.
Know your levels.
Going through life. I've had friends who all reflect a different part of me and where I was. You know what I'm saying? If I got the friends that in the streets, guess what? Toya was in the streets. If I got the friends that, whatever, like, these are different parts of me. But as I grow and really kind of focus on, like, this is the woman that I'm becoming, then those closest to me are going to reflect. Are going to reflect that.
Yeah. I think it even goes with, like, if you are at a place where you're okay with being single, because I think sometimes single women often who are okay with being single feel isolated in that type of mindset, where they're just like, I'm actually okay not dating. I mean, just like where I'm at, like, I'm actually okay not having children, right? Like, we're in that isolated group where everybody's looking like, so you don't want to get married, you don't want to have ever, right? Like, and so there's this, like, I think it's thinking about, like, how to really be, like, going back to it's okay, like, give yourself permission to be okay, but also you don't have to hide it either. Because sometimes it's like when you're out in
No.
public in a conversation, you're just like, I'm just not gonna be part of that conversation.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hear people's mouths. I don't want people to judge me.
Yeah.
And then you don't honor your story. You hide your story, and then you don't really show up as your authentic self.
I love that. I love that. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to show up as you. And I think if you are good with it,
Yeah, that's enough.
then that's enough.
Yeah.
And you can speak up and be like, yeah, that's not me. And it's okay. I think we're just gonna keep saying that. Like it's okay.
Listen, if you don't get nothing else from today, take the mantra.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Exactly. It's okay. But you shouldn't have to hide it. You shouldn't have to not feel like you can't show up as your authentic self, because people are going to say whatever. I mean, people going to say stuff. People just
Regardless,
say stuff all the time
yeah.
about whatever, and so, just be you. I'm all about, like you said, unapologetic living. I am all about me and me. This is what it is. This is where I am. Like I said, I desire to be married again, but right now I am like, I'm not dating, not in I'm like, no dating this year, not gonna be in a relationship this year. It is about something different for me, and I'm I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that. I think
I love that.
Even post divorce, in my mind, I had a girlfriend, one of my work bestie. And, we were talking about, we're both over 45. So it's like, we're talking about, having that desire to be married again. And like, her thing is like, I ain't trying to be married at 50. She was like, if it ain't by 50, she's like, because I just can't see myself 50 and getting married. And I was just kind of like, it sounds a little like, dang.
Yeah.
But I'm like, first I was like, girl, look at us. First of all.
I was about to say, you don't look over 45. I don't know what that number is after 45, but you don't look it.
47.
So,
We going to be 48 in July.
Girl, you better go ahead with that. Okay. Listen.
So, and I'm like, it can sound a little weird, just of just like, man, I'm 50, 50 getting married, but I let that go because that could have become another box for me to check, another milestone.
A milestone without even realizing it.
Right.
A late one added. A late one added to the list.
Right. And I'm just like, I'm like, listen, I'm like, God knows the desire of my heart, and I'm like, at this point, when it happens, it will happen.
Yeah.
His timing, he showed me time and time again, his timing is impeccable.
Yeah.
And so, and I think it's when he knows that I'm ready. Because even as I've been single since 2020, just getting into dating here and there, it was more so just like, I thought I was ready. And it was like, then I asked God after the fact.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, God, I need you in this little situation. He was just like, you didn't even ask me before you downloaded the little app. You ain't.
There was no consultation.
None. You didn't even come to me like, Lord, I think I'm ready. No, you just out here downloading apps. Child. And it was just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna let you rock. I'm gonna let you. I ain't gonna let you out here crazy. But I think that at this point for me, it really is about just continuing to work on me and my purpose, what God has called me to, and really embracing. And I'm enjoying it so much. And it's just like, okay, God, you know my heart, you know what I desire, you know what I want. So it's like I am fully trusting you, because there was one point where I was just like, God, I'm surrendering my dating life to you. And then 3 months later, here I. Okay. Because I was like, but no, God, this looks intentional.
Right.
Like, I think this is being, all right. We found out later. No.
Right.
And so he finally really was kind of like, are you ready to surrender to me completely?
Yeah.
Like, truly and completely. Let me have this.
Yeah.
And watch what I do. And I'm just like, you know what, Lord, I'm going to trust you, because I really do. I'm like, I want to experience what it is like to trust him fully in this space.
Yeah.
And watch what he does. And in the meantime, I'm building and enjoying a life as, we like to call it, a successfully single woman. And I'm loving it out here.
I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw on Netflix, there is, maybe your friend, this might encourage your friend that if she gets after, it's the
show.
It's the older seniors getting they're dating. First of all, they look fabulous.
They look good.
Every last one of them seniors look fabulous. They in their 60s, 70s, living their bestest life.
Absolutely.
And they just as young and vibrant.
Yes.
And having the best time.
And so is she. I'm like, girl.
I was like,
neither one of us look our age. I was like, you out here living, doing the things. So I'm just like, girl, please.
Yeah, take the milestone off.
Don't even worry about it.
Make sure she tunes into the show when we go air.
I'm like, listen, because girl, like you already know. We be having it at work. I'm like, it's story time.
Right.
Let's talk. And I'm like, no, like we not even. But like I said, I get it because it sounds like.
Yeah. Because again, the milestone, the expectation is to be married by now. You're retiring. You should be with your love of life after 30 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And it sounds, yeah. Well, you kind of answered this already, but I like to end the episodes just asking my clients. This is on the therapy mode. My guests.
Listen, I might be calling you at some point in time.
What they enjoy most about being unapologetic. So for you, what would you say you enjoy most, or the one thing you enjoy most about unapologetically being single and happy?
The first thing I would say, I love that I can be unapologetic. That I really can be unapologetic about it. But being unapologetically single and happy, it's the discovering of myself. It's the self-discovery. It is the ability to have choices. You know, because when you do get into a relationship, especially when you get married, you know, you've got to be, you know, you got to check in with your partner. You guys have to, you know, you have to flow with one another. But being single, I really don't, it's me and the Lord. I really don't have that. And so I can, you know, I can go and do things. I can discover new things about myself. I can go pick up and go on a road trip if I want to, take a solo trip if I want to. So I think it's really this discovery of more of who I am, enjoying like this road of becoming who God has always said that I was, right? Because there was a point in life where I didn't think I was enough. I didn't know what my purpose was. Like, why am I here? Like I said, my identity was wrapped up in being a wife and being a mother. But now in this season, I get to really, truly enjoy and find out who Toya is. And I like her. I like her.
She's pretty dope.
Thank you. I'm like, I'm like, are you like, girl? We kind of like, even with my flaws and all, right? And I wouldn't even necessarily call them flaws, but just things about me that it's like sometimes, you know, there's certain things about us we don't like. But my quirks, my awkwardness, my, you know, whatever it is, it's just like I can embrace those things and be like, you know what? Like, I love all of it about me, you know, and so I think that's really the thing that I love about this single season. When
you get to that place where you are just like, even when a flaw comes up, you're able to laugh at the flaw, right? You're able to like find joy even in the flaw. There's a different level that judgment can never stop you, because even someone judge you about it, you're just like, that's okay. That is me. There's sometimes with my fiance, he might point out something, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's me. I do that. Right. And that's yep.
Absolutely.
I'm not even ashamed of that. Yeah. Sometimes I'll do that. Yep. That's me.
Yeah. It was a time where I couldn't do that because somebody took, you know, where someone would take it and really, again, like a lot of times what we label as flaws, somebody else really labeled it as a flaw. It really was just a part of our personality. Right. But somebody else labeled that a flaw. Facts, and then that's what we took, you know, that's what we took on. And so now, again, I'm just like, it's a part of it's just a part of who I am. Like, I do talk to myself. Okay. We be having conversations all the time.
I do it all the time.
I'm like, I need to be mic'd up 24/7.
Listen,
I can make a coin.
I can't. For me, it's like I have to say it out loud for me to really hear what I'm saying, what I'm thinking. Like I gotta say it out loud so I can hear. I'm with you. I'm with you on that,
girl. So those things, I'm just like, but it's okay. I'm like, it's a part of who I am, but also it's the things that God uses to make me me, and to make for me to walk in purpose fully as who I am, because there's somebody else out there that can identify and be like, you know what? Like, I thought that was like strange, or I thought that was like, oh wow, look at her, and look at how God is using her, and she's walking fully in purpose, completely authentically who she is. And that is one of the things that I want women, married or single, to really know, like fully embrace who you are. Because you have to be authentically yourself so that you can get everything God has for you, because it's for you, who you are, not for who you think you're supposed to be, not for who they think you're supposed to be, because you won't get it. Because God is like, no, it's for who I created you to be, and who I created you to be encompasses all those things that you don't even want to embrace or what somebody deemed as a flaw. Like, no, I'm using all of it. Like, clearly I knew because I created you.
Right.
And I'm using it all. So embrace all of it and just, again, be unapologetically about it.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you so much for being a
Thank
guest
you. This is
on my
great.
show. Great conversation.
Yes, always fun.
I hope that as you watch this, share it with someone, send the link to anyone that you know that just needs to just honor her story unapologetically, be single, childless, whatever that is, right? And embrace the happiness within it, because I think sometimes there's a shame and embarrassment with that, but there's so much fulfillment, happiness within that. So
absolutely.
Yeah, again, another dope show. So if you want some more dopeness, make sure you continue to stay tuned for the next episodes. Check out season 1 and 2, or as another list of shows where you can get some more gems. And as always, until I see you again, make sure you be safe, be bold, and speak life. Unapologetic.
Unapologetic living.
It's a wrap.
This is cool.
Awesome.
Love it.